All right, welcome into PrizePicks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick, live from Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us. I got David Ebersol. You can follow him at David W. Ebersol. Got David Friedman. You can follow him at Taco Bout Sports. We're going to talk Heat and Sixers and the rest of the NBA today. Make sure you're using the code 5, F-I-V-E. That's our official code. PrizePicks is the official fantasy partner of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. And to that end, you can get your initial deposit match. So put down $100. You can play. You will get an additional $100 to play, and you don't have to play it all at once. $20, $30, $40. You choose 2, 3, 4, 5 players, flex play, power play. A lot of different options for you. All right, let's get to it. Again, we're here Heat Sixers. No Harden, no Embiid. It kind of messed up the board tonight. We're expecting no Embiid. We were not necessarily expecting no Harden. Mr. Ebersol, what are you thinking?
Well, I think it's still going to be a pretty competitive game for the most part. You know, Philly's at home, obviously. They're not going to want to look too deflated in front of the home crowd. But that being said, I think with not much interior presence tonight, Bam is going to be a primary rebounding force for Miami. So I'm going to take him over 9 rebounds tonight against Philly without Embiid.
That feels fairly fair going against the corpse of DeAndre Jordan tonight. Mr. Friedman, what are you thinking?
Is the corpse actually going to be out there? Because then I might cheat my pick. No, we talked about this before the show started. Like, I feel like anytime they play these games where it seems like it's going to be a blowout because guys are sitting or whatever it is, like it never ends up being that. The Heat make it interesting always, right? So I'm going Tyler over points. I think it was 19.5. Mm-hmm. I've been saying like I'm cherry picking here, but I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing. So that's my safe pick for tonight.
I'm going with Tyler also over 19.5 points. For a couple of reasons. Obviously, he's been on a roll. I mean, he's been 25.5 points since the All-Star break. But also, and I'm sort of stealing Greg and Brady's picks on this, too. I'm going over on Duncan Robinson, 9.5 points, for the exact same reason. Philly plays a lot of drop defense. Embiid can get out on the pick and roll. DeAndre Jordan can't. Embiid is more effective at protecting the rim at this stage. I apologize for some of the noise here in the background. But I think that those opportunities in the mid-range are going to be there for Tyler, and I think the threes are going to be there for Duncan. Also, no Oladipo and no Vincent tonight, so maybe more minutes for those guys as well. Anything else on the NBA board strike either of you?
I like Miles Bridges over 1.5 threes against the Pelicans. He went 4 for 8 against them in their only meeting this year for 26 points. So I always like those 1.5 threes on those guys for Charlotte because they like to hoist it up a lot. They're a good offensive team, and it could be a fairly high scoring game. So I went Miles Bridges, Charlotte over 1.5 threes.
Freeman?
Yeah, I like that. Lonzo. Ball on that team too. He all the threes on that side of it. I like. I went McCollum over. I think like 24 points. Like KD, I went over. I think at that point it was like 42.5 on points, assists, and rebounds. Like I think that game has potential without a lot of the bigger names. Like KD's just taking over, right? So
42.5 wouldn't be that hard to get to if you're thinking what. I mean, he scores 30. He's going to get to that number overall.
Yeah, points for like 29 or something like that.
Yeah, I also think I'm a little worried about looking at Philadelphia. I looked at Maxey and a couple of the others. I'm a little worried about this because I know they'll try to play hard in front of the home crowd, but I don't even get the sense they want this game. And there is a feeling now that these teams are like conceding the 1 seed to the East. I mean, in the East to the Heat. And you see there with Maxey, he's been under on a lot of this of late. So I don't know that I necessarily feel comfortable playing that. I think if you're looking for another Heat pick, I might go under on Jimmy too. I don't necessarily think that they're going to push him tonight. I think that if he can get a little bit of rhythm with the first group, I think that will be enough for them. And I don't know that he's necessarily going to play late. But like you guys said, these games turn out weird. The Heat won up here without anybody earlier in the season. Maybe they lose when Philadelphia.
Well, you're there tonight, so
that is. I am a jinx, as is Sean Rochester, and we're both in the building tonight. So that could be the case, and I got a dirty look from Eric Spoelstra when I showed up.
Ethan.
That's the hashtag we go with. All right, use the code 5 FIVE PrizePicks.com. Get your initial deposit matched. Have a good night, everybody.